Hello everyone, this is Andrea, your personal accountability coach. How are you doing today? We are covering the topic of mental health as mental health awareness is prevalent in these times with everything that's going on in the world, and in some countries has been going on since the dawn of time. I want to bring to your attention of why we decide the best solution is. The analogy that I'd like to use is putting a Band-Aid on things. This has been frustrating. As most of you know, I have over 2 decades in the mental health field in the areas that of social work and psychology. And I have seen this time and time again. You have a condition and there's a pill for that. You have another condition, there's a pill for that. And if we stopped and took a moment to get to the root cause of what our condition is, understanding why our feelings and emotions are a disarray, maybe we could stop putting a Band-Aid on the conditions and actually work towards eliminating the conditions. Give you some examples. I worked in an area for a company where they were all about holistic and wellness treatments. And I saw this video where it talked about that the definition of insanity, that if you keep repeating the same behaviors over and over again, expecting different results, you will come into the realm of insanity. And that really struck a chord with me because as we were dealing with individuals, in the holistic and wellness realms, not only were we taking care and tapping into their mental health well-being, but we were also focusing on their physical well-being. And when we were able to dissect and get to the root cause of why this individual was overweight, why this individual was depressed, not in the clinical terms, but just on the surface base to kind of get an understanding of their lifestyle. And what we came to find out was some contributing factors was the environment that they lived in. This was rooted towards peer pressure, whether it be peer pressure amongst their friends, their family, their colleagues. And it really resonated with me that they hadn't addressed it, whether pride-stricken, embarrassment, shame, or what have you, that these external influences had played a factor and impaired their health. And this is what I'm talking about, mental health. This is what I'm being heightened of awareness to remove the toxicity from your life. We tend to kind of push things under the carpet per se. I don't want to bother them and it's all right, I'm not worried about it, until we have a separate pair of eyes looking into our life and say, you don't deserve that treatment. Don't give anyone permission to disrespect you in any shape, way, or form. And so they were kind of self-medicating through food, substance abuse, drugs, alcohol, intimacy, or any vice that they could get their hands on so they can numb their feelings and emotions of the damage that their environment has placed upon them. Now, what was brought to my attention of one of my great friends was, you know what? Everything that we need, Mother Nature provides. And I took a moment and I was just like, oh my goodness, that is true. Because if you think about the times prior to technology, right? Prior to the Western civilization, those of African descent or South American, the indigenous people, although their quality of health wasn't up to par, they lived on survival mode. Everything they needed was in their own backyard, literally. Food, shelter, clothing, even medicinal purposes, because they explored and created innovative ways. Now, I know some of you are going to kind of frown upon that, and it's okay to agree to disagree. Western medication and medicine still has a long way to come. But if you think about it, in today's society, we just want to numb the pain per se, whether it be that of actual pain, suffering, anxiety, depression, an autoimmune condition, a neurological condition, that of, cardiac condition, whatever the case may be. But why is it now we're finding remedies across the world for medicinal purposes that don't have the side effects, don't have the repercussions, that it's handling this condition, but there'll be some other conditions down the road that we may not be aware of? The reason I bring this to your attention is because we are so inept to have an immediate fix, an immediate resolution, an immediate response, an immediate answer. But I want you to know, we already have the tools within us to adjust. Again, personal example, as I am transparent as always. Prior to the year, let's say 2016, when I had my incident of being in the ICU unit, and for some of you, there's a reference out there of my story of being diagnosed with an autoimmune disease of myasthenia gravis, which is a terminal autoimmune disease that is grave stricken. So the reason I bring this up is because when I was able to reflect on all the conditions that brought me to the hospital, all the conditions that brought me to result in medication of some sort, way, shape, or form, I was able to look behind the science, get to the root cause of what was causing it. I had a toxic environment. I wasn't addressing the issues at hand, fear for loss or fear for being judged. And it was all up here. It was all up here. And when you are chemically imbalanced, emotionally imbalanced up here, only then will your behaviors be imbalanced. You will want to numb the pain. You don't want to face the reality of what's going on, face the people in your life, face the conditions of fearful of being stigmatized as crazy, as playing the victim. But when you get to the root cause of it, when you have a healthy headspace, the rest goes into place. I used to fear what other people thought, okay? I used to fear that if I wasn't pleasing someone in some way, whether it be my work ethic performance at a job, my relationships, my roles as an individual, and I wasn't holding true to myself, that I wasn't being me. This set up for failure because I had to believe that I had to meet their expectations or else I was unworthy. This led to some conditions down the road. Therefore, that of fibromyalgia, stress, lack of eating, lack of interests. I remember when they had assessed my gallbladder at one time, before removal, there were 7 ulcers on it. I was always on edge and walking on eggshells in every which way. I fell into loss and grief when my mother had passed. And if I didn't feel like I met the needs or expectations of those with who I was connecting with, I increased my stress level because I had to feel like I was doing it perfectly. Now, if you look at all the conditions that I've had, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoporosis, exercise-induced asthma, fibromyalgia, stress, poor eating habits, and based on social lifestyles, I wasn't taking care of me. But I realized that I was in control. I can take ownership of it. If I ate healthy, I stayed hydrated, and I controlled what went into my headspace, into my body, into my thoughts, into my subconscious. So I'm just giving this suggestion and recommendation. Don't utilize a substance or some sort of temporary band-aid to numb your pain. Be aware, be disciplined, face your pain, face your past, and collaboratively work with your inner support system to kind of figure out the path less traveled of staying and maintaining mental health stability. For if we kind of become introverted, we don't reach out for help. Remember, Mr. Brown says being vulnerable is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. Be cognizant of what you're doing to yourself and know that everything you need, our Creator either provided for us or Mother Earth is nurturing us. That is my key tip for today. I wish you the best. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Ladies and gentlemen, we're only 2 away from giving you live content at 100 subscribers or more. I appreciate each and every one of you. And let's connect. My name is Andrea. I am your personal accountability coach. Take the pen into your hand and begin writing your story and press play. Plan life according to you. I thank you for your time as always, and I will see you in the next video. Be well.